Well, here I am on Wagga Beach, and it is the start of this 200-kilometre paddle. I've got about 40 k's to do today down to the first campsite. My boat there is fully packed to the brim and hopefully it will float. But anyway, I'm going to hit the water. It's a nice sort of 6 degrees and a little drizzly, but it should clear up later on today. So catch you later. So I'm just paddling out of Wagga at the moment, so I thought I'd tell you a bit about the Murrumbidgee. So firstly, this is Wiradjuri territory, so the Wiradjuri people are the traditional custodians, so I did want to acknowledge that. But the word Murrumbidgee actually is a Wiradjuri word that means big water. So this is actually I think it's the second longest river in Australia after the Murray, and it actually flows into the Murray down at Berembed and starts up at the Snowy Mountains. So I think it's about 1,500 kilometres long. So we're only doing about 200 of that. But yeah, this is one of my favourite rivers. It's just got a lot of history. They used to actually do paddle steamers down or up this all the way up to Gundagai. But having paddled up in Gundagai a couple of months ago, I can tell you wouldn't be taking a paddle steamer up there now. It is pretty shallow and pretty narrow. And I think a lot of that's to do with the fact that there is now a big dam up at Berembed, just about 50 kilometres further upstream from Gundagai. But yeah, definitely a lot of history on this river, and yeah, it's very enjoyable. So this is the last road I'm going to see for a few days, so definitely heading off into the remote parts of the world. And you can see here on the map what we're going to be doing today is going from Wagga, working our way along all the way to Kohlhagens Beach, where there's a campground there.
Everyone wants to be swept off their feet, overwhelmed. It's romanticized, idealized, nothing has been more cruel, but your playful heart has got me in trouble now, but it's a bind I wanna be in. I knew from the start I would get in over my head. Your playful heart is not to be played with. It's all that they say, and then some more, falling head over heels. But take my advice, it comes with a price to have a blind.
So I've just arrived at Kohlhagens Beach, and it doesn't look like there's anybody here, which is awesome. I'm going to go and have to scrounge a bit of firewood and just light a short fire just to dry a few things out. But I am now going to go and set up camp and have some food. So day one is done. It's now time for some dinner. Everything's going really well. The only issue I've got is this crappy melamine cup has just split itself, so I'm having to gaffer tape that thing together. But everything else is going sweet. Always bring gaffer tape with you, no matter what you're doing. It can fix absolutely anything, even your coffee mug. I must say I'm really happy about the fact that 5 cars just showed up here, and there's 2 trailers, one full of wooden pallets, obviously to burn, and one with an upright piano. So I'm assuming there's going to be a lot of noise tonight. So I'm about to move my camp from here all the way down there. Good morning, it's day 2. It's about 7 a.m. now. Beautiful foggy morning. So last night wasn't too bad with the people with the piano. They actually left, I think, about 10 o'clock. But they certainly were playing some quite loud music. I just went over and had a look at the fireplace too, and it looks like they were having a ceremonial burning of the piano at the end, because there's parts of piano in the fireplace. So I like to think that it was some sort of memorial or something to somebody who loved that piano. But yeah, they did come over and apologise to me last night when they saw me moving my tent. So anyway, I've ended up in another campsite which is full of rubbish from the weekend, and they even have a nice view of a burnt car just there. So not the most ideal spot, but it was dark, so it didn't really matter. Anyway, I'm going to go and have some breakfast and start thinking about packing up all the wet gear. So it's about time to leave. It's about 20 past 9. I went a little slower this morning because today's only a shorter day. It's only about 32 kilometres, I think. And also I wanted to repack the boat in a different way to make things a little bit more practical in terms of getting my lunch out and things like that. So we're heading off today down to Currawarna State Forest. So I can show you the map in a sec. So we're down here at Kohlhagens Beach. And we're going to move all the way up here to Currawarna State Forest. I think the worst thing of this whole kayaking thing is this part is getting your feet wet as you have to get in the boat. Just letting all the water drain out. But yeah, definitely cold. Can you hear that? That's the silence I've been looking for. Yesterday I was paddling pretty close to the Sturt Highway, well, a few kilometres away, but you could kind of hear the traffic, where now it's the first time I've just had pure silence. So it's about 11 o'clock and it's still foggy, which is making it all a little bit cold. I've even had to opt for the wetsuit gloves because my hands were starting to go a bit numb. But yeah, it's weird paddling in the fog like this because it really sort of puts you in this half of a dreamlike state, but also just makes you feel tired. Plus day 2 is always the hardest day because your body is just remembering what paddling is all about. Anyway, hopefully the sun will come out soon. Otherwise, I don't even think I'll be bothering having lunch. I might just eat a muesli bar because it's quite warm in the boat. I don't want to have to get out. So it's about 1 o'clock now, and yeah, it's still, the sun hasn't come out. So I just had to stop and put a few more layers of thermals on and get my beanie and run up and down the beach a fair bit, just to get some movement going. And yeah, hopefully we'll have a campsite in about probably about 2 hours, hour and a half, and then hopefully a fire because I really need to thaw out. Can't believe I actually got so excited about seeing a bridge. So that's the bridge that I was driving over the other day in my other video. And it feels like a bit of a little milestone to have actually got here. Even though I'm only sort of a day or nearly 2 days into my paddle, it's good to have little milestones. So I've just arrived at Currawarna, Currawarna State Forest, where I'm going to be camping tonight. I'm just trying to find a spot where I can actually get up and get up a cliff. So it looks like down there in front of me, like all the way down there, there might be a spot that I can scramble up. So let's see how we go. So I finally found a spot that I could get up onto the bank. It was quite cliffy actually, so I was getting a little worried that I wouldn't find a spot. But the even bigger bonus is that I have found a campfire that's already running. Somebody obviously left that, so I can get that raging and warm up a bit. And then I don't particularly want to camp under that tree. but I can go and camp up in the grasslands up there, which will be quite good. Anyway, I've got to go and warm up and make some food. I'm absolutely frozen. So good morning, it's about just before 7 and it's day 3. So going well so far. Yesterday was a bit tough because it was so foggy and freezing cold. I looked at the weather last night and it never got over 6 degrees, which was pretty miserable. But today's looking like a much better day, so it's not foggy and hopefully the sun will come out, which will be quite nice. Today we've got to go down, we're doing a bush camp tonight, so I'm going to try and do about 40 kilometres paddling today, which will be the longest day. And that's really just because I'm building up to the final day, so not tomorrow but the next day, which it looks like it's going to be about 50 kilometres. So it's going to be a bit of a marathon. That's mainly because there's not really many places to camp between it, and there will be a pub and a motel at the end as my incentive. So anyway, I'm going to go and have some breakfast and have my coffee and then hit the water. This is the first sun I've seen for about a day and a half, and after yesterday's freezing cold day, it is much appreciated. It might only be about 2 degrees at the moment, but that is super warm and it's going to be a lovely day. Might even need to put sun cream on. Well, I've only been paddling for about half an hour, but I'm feeling very ambitious actually, so I could skip this campsite, which would be a 70-kilometre paddle, which would be extremely ambitious. But, you know, the water's flowing pretty well, and I think the river gets a bit narrower a bit further on, so it should go faster. And if that's the case, I could probably push on, see how we go. Could end up being paddling until about 5 PM, 6 PM, but we can see, because I know at Piper's Reserve there's a really good campsite, and that would mean I could have a bit of a rest day tomorrow. So let's see what happens. Oh, so I just hit the 100 kilometre mark for the whole trip, so basically halfway there. What is the time? It is 11:30. I've done 25 kilometres today, and I think I am going to probably push on, but I'm celebrating eating Nutella. It's the only thing I had handy because I'm hungry. So I'm about 55 kilometres in, and I've got about another 15 to go. I'm certainly starting to feel a bit sore in the neck and my arms, but we've got about 2 hours of sunlight left, so that's there. So I'm averaging about 7 to 8 k's an hour. So, you know, I think I'll probably make it just on sunset, maybe just after. That's okay, I've got my head torch ready. I can tell you I am very happy to see that, which is Piper's Reserve, and that's the campsite for tonight. So we've just done 70 kilometres, and it is just 10 past 5. So that means we've gone for about 9 hours with about a 20-minute break for lunch. That is an epic paddle. Now we're going to play the usual game of find a spot we can actually get out, because it's all big cliffs. Well, I made it. Sorry, I have to use my head torch to light my face up. I made it just in time, just as the sun was setting, and I found a really nice campsite. Not that you can see it, but just got a little bit of light left to put the tent up, and absolutely nobody around, which is lovely. Well, good morning. It's Wednesday morning, and it's nice and early here at Piper's Reserve. It's a great little campsite. There was, well, huge campsite, and there was absolutely no one here. The only issue with it is obviously, as you saw, trying to get up the bank, and certainly going to be fun getting the boat back down today. But today's a very cruisy day. I've only got 7 kilometres to paddle, which is a bit different from yesterday's 70, but the whole intention was so I could have a good rest day today. So I just have to paddle down to Berembed Weir, and there's about a 1 kilometre portage that I need to do there, which luckily I left some my trolley wheels here at the campsite here, so I can do quite an easy walk with all the stuff, assuming I can get out of the water and the bank's not too high. And then tomorrow is the final slog down to Narrandera, which is about 52 kilometres, which would have sounded like a lot a couple of days ago, but after doing 70 yesterday, it seems like quite a cruise.
I think about us calling. I think about us falling.
Well, I think it took about twice as long just to get everything packed as it's going to take me to paddle down to the next campsite. But everything is covered in mud now, so I'm looking forward to having some time down at the campsite to clean everything up. Well, I just got to Berembed Weir, which is quite big actually. I'm just trying to work out where I've got to go, because up on this bank, which I thought I'd have to go and walk along the road, there's a huge triple barbed wire fence up there. Seems to be blocking the way. And the other alternative is to climb up that bank and walk through the forest. And then I'd have to paddle across the river again to the campsite. Well, I'm going to get out and have a look. Oh shit. So I tried going over to that bank over there, but I think there's no way through that fence, plus that was thigh-deep mud on that bank. Instead, I'm going to climb this one, which also looks like thick mud, and I'm going to try and see if I can walk around that way. So up at the top of the cliff here, there is quite a decent track along there. That goes all the way down past the weir. So I am going to paddle back upstream and see if I can find a better spot up there to get out of. Well, this looks like my best bet. That mud looks deep, so here we go. Let's see what happens. Jesus. Oh, shit. Well, that was the most unsexy thing I've had to do. Wade waist deep in the mud to get out. Oh man, lucky I have my boat to pull me along. Otherwise I would have been stuck. So the campsite is over there on the other side of the river. So this is the bottom of the weir. And I have to drag all the gear about 1 kilometre along that track, and then I should be able to paddle across. It's going to take me probably a couple of hours to do this, so I might go and make myself a cup of tea and take my time about it. Well, I made it across the river, so I'm just going up the hill to see if this campsite looks alright. This looks like a perfect spot to camp. Morning, it's another freezing cold morning this morning. Definitely below zero, I would suggest. Anyway, we've got a big day today, so I'm trying to get the next sort of 52 kilometres done as soon as I can. So planning to head off just after sunrise. Anyway, time to have a nice cup of coffee and start thinking about packing up. So here we go, it's the last day of the trip. So we've got 52 k's to do down to Narrandera, and it's a nice misty little morning, so it's about 7:30. Freezing cold, but it's nice to be on the water again. Sorry, the camera is shaking because my arms are tight. And also, I am going to be excited about having a shower and a beer tonight. Plus I'm pretty excited to get out of this disgustingly filthy, muddy boat. As you can see, it's all just mud after yesterday. Anyway, let's get onto the water and make some progress. Well, as you can see, it's a very pleasant day. I've done 30 kilometres so far. It's about, hang on a sec, it's 12:15, so I've been going since probably about 5.5 hours. So I've got another probably 3 hours to go, maybe 3 or 4. And then, yeah, time for a beer. I keep talking about that beer a lot. You can tell I really need it. So anyway, I'm actually looking forward to just stopping paddling. The body's holding out well, the shoulders are starting to get a bit tight, but other than that, I'm really happy with how things are going. There you go, 200 kilometres, and what's really nice is that, focus, is the last bend in the river, so we are almost there. There you go, I made it. Well, I sort of made it, however I've now got about a 1.5 walk to the motel, so I've got to get my wheels on and start the hike. Well, I thought I would come up with some deep philosophical thoughts before I finish, but I don't think I can. I'm a bit too tired, so I might have a beer and a sleep, and then I might get back to you. Anyway, thanks for joining me.